Hi, everyone. I'm Dan Abrams, and this is Court Cam.
Call the buzzer. Call the...
Take him back! Take him out!
I hope you die in prison as well.
I wouldn't kill her. I have never had any violent behavior.
First up, we head to San Diego, California. The defendant is Peter Robbins, one-time child actor and voice of beloved TV character Charlie Brown. He's in court for violating his probation for consumption of alcohol and removal of a GPS anklet. 2 years earlier, Robbins pled guilty to stalking his ex-girlfriend, Shauna Kern, and threatening a doctor who performed breast enhancement surgery on her. He was given 5 years probation. But today, Judge Robert O'Neill has revoked it, leading Robbins to reconsider his plea on the stalking charge.
Defendant Mr. Robbins, remanded without bail.
I'm withdrawing my guilty plea.
Good luck on that, Mr. Robbins.
Good luck to you.
Good grief. The judge just rejected Robbins' request to withdraw the guilty plea. He's furious and not shy about it.
To stick me in jail for 124 days? Do you have a conscience? Do you? I have not committed any crime. I'm telling you, I'm revoking, you revoke my probation, I revoke my criminal threat. I never criminally threatened this woman. In order for it to be a criminal threat, she has to believe that I would kill her. I wouldn't kill her. I have never had any violent behavior. I want a new trial.
As things continue to unravel, Robbins' attorney speaks up.
I don't know if Mr. Robbins is in a perfect state of mind to be proceeding at this point.
The judge delays sentencing and orders Robbins to undergo a psychiatric evaluation, but not before Robbins takes the blockhead approach and gives the judge a parting shot.
I hope you drop dead of a heart attack. You stupid.
Thank you.
Robbins was deemed competent and ultimately found guilty of stalking and making criminal threats. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Next, we're in Miami, Florida, where Judge Nusheen Safi is about to recognize a familiar name on her bond hearing docket.
Johnny Ray Smith Jr. Oh my God.
These two have a storied history, and you're going to hear all about it.
The same charge.
In a previous domestic case, Smith was convicted of criminal mischief, and Judge Safi advised that he leave the home where he'd been staying with the complainant. In that same case, Smith revealed to the court that he had fathered more than 30 children. And apparently still counting.
Remember she was pregnant and she had another kid, so I'm at 40 now.
And that's your argument? Wait, that's your argument for you want me to let you out?
No, not that. No, listen.
Do you remember that birth control lecture I gave you back when you only had 31 kids?
Listen to you, listen. I listen to you. I just moved out. I stay on my own. I got a new girlfriend. That's what she mad about.
I don't blame her.
But listen, I left. I never went back to the house. I never called.
You didn't listen to anything I said.
No, I did. I left.
I told you also no more kids.
Similar to his previous case, Smith's charges today include criminal mischief and burglary related to incidents involving another mother of some of his children.
Your Honor, I was
Quiet for a minute.
Okay, no problem.
Try doing that for 1 minute if you can.
All right.
As the judge goes through the case file, a public defender chimes in.
Your Honor's history with Mr. Smith's knowledge of Mr. Smith, as well as the allegations before the court at this point.
Just make it clear that my history with him is as a judge.
Mr. Smith.
You're not staying there, correct?
I did exactly what you told me. I left. No.
Mr. Smith, just
It's
answer
number
yes
2
or no.
kids. Can I put him on a vasectomy?
Please don't do it.
Judge Safi doesn't have that kind of power, but she can take away his social life by placing him under house arrest using a tracking bracelet.
$1 a day for the bracelet.
You finna do me like that again? That was torture last time.
You're not going to have to post a bond. You're going to be on a bracelet.
Thank you.
Before they part ways, the judge also issues Smith a final warning.
If you come back with any other baby mamas, I'm gonna revoke your bond and keep you in jail. Condoms, use them.
Okay.
Next, we go to a pretrial hearing in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Jeremy Shue, age 39, is charged with first-degree home invasion, car theft, identity theft, and possession of a controlled substance. The defendant arrived in a wheelchair after suffering a number of strokes over the years. That's Shue's attorney, Walter White.
Any other motions or preliminary matters?
I would just restate my previous request that I be allowed to withdraw from the case.
Shue's attorney just asked to be removed from the case.
He prepares his own motions. He has asked me to file them. Sometimes I have, sometimes I've not. He's had a series of strokes. I mean, he's in a wheelchair.
Even though Shue's in a wheelchair, not even his own attorney is sure about the severity of his condition.
I don't know what his physical health is, but I know that he's maybe not as strong as he used to be. And so I would just ask Your Honor to consider allowing me to withdraw so that he can get an attorney that he can work with.
I previously ruled on your motion to withdraw, and nothing has changed in interim, so I'll stand by that ruling.
I'd like to represent myself, Your Honor.
That's right, if Shue can't have his way, then he'll just represent himself.
Well, I would strongly urge you not to do that. Mr. White's been a criminal defense attorney for as long as I can remember.
That's your opinion. I don't buy your opinion.
But that's fine, you don't have to buy my opinion. But he is a lawyer, and you're not.
I'm a better lawyer than you.
That's your opinion as well. If you want to proceed and represent yourself, we can do that. Jury trial will be the 21st of January at 8:30.
I need time to go through pretrial motions.
January 21 at 8:30. Mr.
Haven't
White.
had no time to go through pretrial motions. What are you talking about, dude?
Sensing the escalating tension, two court officers step in behind Shue in case things get physical.
Well, the case has been pending for quite a while. Mr. White has been representing you for quite a while. So,
Mr. White hasn't filed nothing. He just asked to withdraw 2 different times. You keep denying it.
well, that's the way it is, sir. So we'll see you on the 21st for jury trial.
It looks like Shue's a little stronger than his attorney realized. Watch again, as Shue easily steps out of the wheelchair to flip the table. The officers force Shue back into the chair, but he's not going quietly. Shue ultimately kept White as his attorney, and it's a good thing he did. White worked a deal where Shue pled no contest to most of his charges and got a reduced sentence of 2.5 years in a county jail. Next, we take you inside the Harnett County Courthouse in Lillington, North Carolina. This is 61-year-old Freddie McAllister. He's being taken into custody for violating a court order in a domestic violence case. In a holding area attached to the courtroom, McAllister gets into a heated argument with a deputy. Then, continues. The sound of the struggle catches the attention of Judge Paul Holcomb. The deputy appears to be in control of the situation. But then, McAllister makes a move for the officer's gun. And that's when Judge Holcomb decides to step in. With his help, they're able to restrain the enraged McAllister. Other deputies arrive to secure the area, and the potentially deadly situation is brought to a safe conclusion. Following the incident, McAllister received a combined 180 days in jail, 150 for violating the protective order, and an additional 30 days for contempt. He was also charged with resisting a public officer and escape from a local jail. Next, we're in Harlan, Kentucky, for the sentencing hearing of 59-year-old Cletus Robbins Jr. Following a 3-day trial, Robbins was convicted on a litany of shockingly violent charges.
The defendant is guilty of 1, kidnapping and serious physical injury, 2, robbery in the first degree, assault in the second degree, unlawful imprisonment, wanton endangerment first degree, and being accused the felony offender first degree.
As Judge Kent Hendrickson proceeds with Robbins' laundry list of crimes, the prosecution interjects after Robbins repeatedly turns around and glares at them.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth requests the court give notice of the defendant not to communicate with the Commonwealth.
In the courtroom, defendants are often prohibited from communicating verbally or non-verbally with anyone except their own attorney. Problem is, Robbins isn't exactly a rule follower.
Hey, now none of that. Hey, none of that. And just calm down.
Yeah. You calm down.
You take it easy.
Stand up there on that side, please. Settle down, please.
Welcome. Your ass court here.
Listen, buddy, I'm too old for this.
Hey, I'm too old for this too.
With tensions later calmed, Robbins stands in silence as Judge Hendrickson hands down a heavy sentence.
He shall be confined to the state penitentiary for a maximum of 25 years. That concludes this matter before the court. Thank you.
Sentencing may conclude things for the court, but not for Robbins. That is the sound of Cletus Robbins spitting one of the prosecuting attorneys. Before he's hauled out of the courtroom, Robbins makes a final threat.
The court has that on record. We know that was a threat, and we will be saving that record
for his courtroom misconduct. His 25-year sentence stands, and a later appeal of the case was denied. Next, we head to the Cowlitz County Courthouse in Washington State. It's 12:40 p.m., just outside the security desk. The woman seen here is Michelle Flavin. Notice she's carrying a pink box. Don't worry, it's nothing dangerous. Just a birthday cake for her 9-year-old daughter. She's bringing it inside the courthouse because she's afraid if she leaves it in the car, her dog will eat it. Flavin asks the security officer, there in white, to keep an eye on the cake while she meets with her sister inside. Her cake should be fine at a security checkpoint inside a courthouse. A few minutes later, this man, Robert Fredrickson, arrives at the courthouse. Fredrickson's here because of an indecent exposure charge. He's 50 years old. Fredrickson and the woman in front of him send their valuables through the metal detector. Just out of the frame, Fredrickson sees the birthday cake left with the officer. And what does he do? He puts his hand right in the cake and takes a bite. A woman notices the shameless act and might be thinking she's being punked. There goes Fredrickson, who appears to be licking his fingers. He heads to the water fountain, probably to wash evidence off his hands. The woman calls over another security officer. The officer in white, meanwhile, has eyes on the cake and can see the damage. Not only is Fredrickson busted, he's still licking cake from his fingers. The group gathers around the table, and that's when Fredrickson does the inexplicable. He goes back for seconds. The officer in white has seen enough of this frosting-filled crime scene. Fredrickson and the cake are thrown to the ground. A few more guards arrive, then Fredrickson is arrested. On top of the initial indecent exposure charge he was facing that day, Fredrickson also picked up another charge of third-degree theft, which was the icing on the cake. As for Flavin, a local grocery store heard about the incident and provided her with a brand new cake. Next, we go to the Hamilton County Courthouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Appearing before the judge is 16-year-old Javon Coulter, who's pled guilty to involuntary manslaughter and aggravated robbery in the death of Suleiman Mutakali.
What's the address of your emergency?
In Thomasville. Somebody looked like they shot his head. He ran on the ground.
Out to a young man. He was rushed to the hospital and would die the next day. The alleged shooter was Coulter, who was only 14 at the time. Coulter was initially charged as a juvenile, but was later transferred to adult court. Before sentencing, the victim's mother, a devout Muslim, speaks directly to her son's killer.
I wasn't sure what I was going to say, but I don't family would like very much to be a part of your seeing a better way of life, consider allowing our family to come visit you, to work with you, to help improve your education, and you never have to walk this path again.
Sitting in the back of the room is Coulter's mother.
You were a baby, and you are still a child, and I plan to be involved with your mother, if she allows it, to try to help her, because I will always be a part of your life. To your mother, as I told you before, this is harder on you than it is on me, for one reason only. I've laid my son to rest. I can't touch him any more than what I touch him spiritually. But you have to live with the fact that you can't touch your son. You can't hold him, yet he is there.
Abdul Mutakalim then makes yet another remarkable gesture, an embrace of Coulter's mother. But she didn't stop there. Before Judge Megan Shanahan announces the sentence, Coulter makes a brief statement to the victim's mother. Coulter was sentenced to 20 years in an Ohio State prison. His earliest release date is 2035, when he'll be 34 years old. Joining us now is Ruqayya Abdul Mutakalim. Thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate it. Tell us, what was it like to be in court that day with the young man who took your son's life?
I felt like I was watching a movie. I just sat there in prayer, in spiritual serenity, not to lose anything of myself.
Absolutely.
And to make sure that whatever I did, it was going to be of a respectful manner.
When you went into court that day, did you know you were going to forgive him?
I knew I was going to forgive him, but I didn't know what I was going to say in that.
Many are going to hear your words and think, how could she find forgiveness like this?
How can I say that if I cannot show this mercy and kind to ones who need it, especially a child?
Javon did apologize to you in court. How did you feel about that?
He turned and said, Miss Abdul, with that voice, I'm so sorry for my part in harming your son. That shook me. And when I hugged him, the tears began to fall from his eyes. You could feel his heart and how devastated for him. His life will never be the same.
Are there times when you just find it too hard to forgive?
I had 2 years before they even brought the young men to court. 2 years. And in those 2 years, I did a lot of soul searching, which is what helped to heal me. The healing starts first with you. When you really have healed, it's not hard to forgive. It's hard not to forgive.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. We really appreciate it. That's all for this edition of Court Cam. I'm Dan Abrams. Thanks for watching.